Hello, my name is JJ Robinson, and welcome to the Flag Football Update. Joining me today is head coach Noah Mitchell. Noah, how are you doing today?
Good, JJ. I appreciate you. Appreciate you having me. It's cool being on this side of the table now.
It is. I'm usually in the booth as well, so
right.
Being on this side of a coach's show, first time for the Flag Football team.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's the first season for the Flag Football team.
Yep.
You are the first head coach of the Flag Football team here at California. Tell me how it is just from day zero, getting hired and announced as the flag coach up to week one.
Yeah, well, going back, obviously, this university has been way too good for me, right? Way too good to me. I'll never be able to repay, the university and Dr. Herpy and Coach Dunn, everyone that's been a part of this journey enough for preparing me for this opportunity and then ultimately giving me the opportunity. But going back to day one, it's been a grind since I got in, getting hired. End of May, it was a late start to recruiting. I come from playing football, and guys are willing to wait for that perfect offer, for that scholarship opportunity, to know where they're going to go to school, right? And most of the time, that's done even the first week, second week of February. Guys have made their decisions, and I think the thing I've learned is women are highly intelligent in the fact that they know what they're going to go to school for. There isn't guys are always delusional about, hey, we're going to the NFL afterwards. Girls are so much more, directed and so much more focused on their task. They're making their decision on where they're going to college. There's a couple of the girls that we've signed for the 2026 signing class. They made their decision back in the summer.
Right.
So it was just that different, getting adjusted to that, getting started so late. Getting out on boots on the ground, hitting the schools, high schools hard. Luckily, getting hired right into the point where the Pittsburgh area, they put on a great program. Over 50 schools now, but I came in right before their playoffs and their championship. So I was able to go out, promote the school, getting into talk in front of a couple high schools, and recruit some girls that we were able to get on the team this year. But other than that, it's just been the grind. It's been the grind of getting current athletes. We needed some help from current athletes, and we've had a great group. One that you'll meet today, who was already a student athlete here, and has some athletic background, and decided she wanted to give flag football a try. So we've been great, developing the athletes that the high school girls that we brought in, who had the experience playing. Bringing them along into what it's like now to be a college athlete, and then taking the current student athletes and teaching them the game of flag football, teaching them what it's like to, hey, we're going to practice in the off season 3 days a week. We're going to have weights twice a week. We have meetings, study tables, the grind of what it's like to be a legitimate college athlete. And that's the biggest thing I wanted to push with this. Is this isn't a club sport. This isn't, hey, we're going to show up just because we have free time and we want to do something to stay busy. We show up for women's flag football practice because we want to be competitive. We want something to be proud of at the end of the day, and knowing that we worked hard for the results that we're going to get this upcoming season.
That seems like a lot of work just from last semester alone.
Yes.
But I want to turn it to more coming from, you are a very decorated quarterback here for California. What is it like? I know you did you coached the men's team as an assistant coach. How is it going from being a player to a teacher? How was that transition from you from an assistant coach to a head coach? Yeah,
that has been kind of interesting. I think that the nature of the position I played, in being able to play early on in my career, as a freshman, I was more of that student who was learning, but the role I was in, the quarterback's expected to be someone of a leader, right? So you're kind of that coach out on the field. Well, I think just being in that position so long, gaining so much experience, I kind of felt more like a coach, going into my junior year, my senior year, where I was sitting in the coaches' staff meetings on Mondays, right, when we're talking about initial game plan, that I felt more like I was a teacher, like I was developing those qualities and those characteristics. But I don't know if nothing necessarily prepares you to look out and solely have 15 girls or 15 athletes looking at you and saying, what do we do? right? What is the game plan? Teach me. I don't know what a hitch is. I don't know what an out route is. I've never had to pull a flag before, right? And I never had to pull a flag. Right. I had to learn so much on my own too, studying the game. And like I said, there's great people in the community of Pittsburgh who I was able to get in contact with at the different high schools that have been very successful, that were able to teach me a lot as well. So it's been a very rewarding transition going into coaching. I think that. I got my master's in teaching, which was kind of fits like just who I am as a person. I get rewarded from going out and teaching people something and then them being able to execute what you taught them, right? And like I said, in the classroom environment as well too, when I was doing my student teaching, getting my master's, like being able to teach them, hey, this is whatever in social studies, and then being able to remember it and connect it to current day. That's where I feel the most rewarded, is being able to give back and see other people kind of using what I taught them to better themselves in whatever aspect they're involved in.
Okay. Another question I want to ask you is, how similar is the game of football to flag football? Of course, you know the ins and outs of both.
Yeah.
But for the people that are going to watch the games and keep up with the season, they don't know what the real difference is. They hear flag and they think it's just non-contact football. What are some distinct differences that you've noticed?
Yeah, and I think that in the area of Pennsylvania and Ohio, which I have the most experience with, that high school level is played completely differently than even what we're going to play on the college level. So relating it back to men's football, for all the football junkies out there, you can look at it as 7-on-7, right? Except now there's a rusher. Except now everyone's eligible to catch a pass, which has been a huge adjustment to make from a coaching perspective when you're thinking about coverage and coming from men's football, the center snaps the ball and he's blocking in the protection. Mm-hmm. No, the center's snapping the ball and now running a route.
Right.
So you're having to account for an extra defender when sometimes you're playing with 5 in coverage because you're sending 2 rushers, or you're playing with 6 in coverage. So sometimes you're playing 6-on-7, is what it feels like. So it's similar in the sense that it is football, right? The ball is shaped the same. You're going to see touchdowns. You're going to see extra points on the college level. You're going to see punting, right? Mm-hmm. But it's kind of what you harped on, that non-contact element, right? Where you're not allowed to initiate contact. You're not running through people. You're pulling flags. Another rule is different on the college level, right? We're allowed to have what's called a screen blocker, right, where they're allowed to get in front of a rusher, but still can initiate that contact. So I think that for the people that do watch football, you're going to look out and see a sport that you can relate to. But I don't think you'll be able to understand completely what's going on. There is a learning curve that you have to learn, and it's been fun to learn it.
I bet. I've seen, of course, I've been there as you've been teaching the second semester. In a little bit, we'll come back from break. We're going to talk to one of the athletes of the team, and then we'll ask you a couple more questions before we get out of here.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back here on CETV Sports 1.
Vulcans, the anticipation was real. The Student Activities Board is excited to announce that this year's concert will be 303 and Hot Shell Array. The concert will be held on April 16th, 2026, with doors opening at 7 p.m. The concert begins at 8 p.m. with Hot Shell Array, with 303 following. Tickets are open to all students and the public. Student tickets are at a discounted rate of $10 to $15 and allow for floor access. Public tickets are $15 and only for the bowl access.
Hello and welcome back to Flag Football Update. My name is JJ Robinson, and we are now joined by one of the players of the team, Alana. Alana, how are you doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. So I just wanted to ask you a couple questions. Of course, this is the first year for the flag football team here at California. I just want to know, have you played the sport before?
Yes, I played my senior year of high school and also played in middle school at my local Boys and Girls Club.
Okay. And what was your experience within that wanted to make you play within a college sport?
Just the love for it. Honestly, I've always been athletic my whole entire life. I've always been wanting to be outdoors, and I actually wanted to play actual football, like tackle football in school, but the coach wouldn't let me, so I was like, this was like a great opportunity for me to be able to finally play some sort of football.
Understandable. Like you said, you're athletic. Did you play any other sports?
Yes, I played basketball, I ran track, soccer, softball, volleyball, cheerleading.
Oh, you did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you said you're a junior here. What major are you in?
Integrated business.
So what goes into that? What made you want to be in integrated business?
My mom, she actually owns her own clothing business, so that was like one of my biggest reasons. And I actually want to get into real estate after I graduate, just something to do extra.
Okay. So you got a future ahead of that.
Yeah, plan A, plan B.
That's awesome. And then looking into the flag football season, what are you most excited for? What are you looking forward to?
Well, coming in, just seeing how a lot of the girls that didn't play sports, how they come in, they just work really hard, and just seeing how much we progress as a team together, individually, academically, just coming in, working hard. I want to see how we play on Saturday. We have 3 games back-to-back, so I'm kind of prepared for that. Nervous. I'm a little nervous, but I'm prepared. I can't wait for it.
All right, and then what position are you? And which position do you, because I know you play multiple positions, but which is your favorite?
I want to say QB is my favorite right now, just being able to freely throw the ball and, be a part of the team. But I play corner on defense.
All right. And
Coach has got me out a little bit of safety right now, too.
A little bit of a hybrid role, I see.
Yeah.
And then is there anything else you would like to tell everyone before?
Pop out Saturday at Bethany College in West Virginia.
Yep.
Our first game, we play Bethany, and then we play Allegheny. I'm not sure about the third game, but definitely, show up, show out. It's our first ever season here at Cal, so I'm excited for the season. I'm excited to see how the girls play. I'm excited to see the other teams and everyone. I'm excited for the fans. So
I'm excited as well. First game this weekend. Got a lot to look forward to, or I guess first games this weekend. So we got a lot to look forward to.
A lot of hard work.
Of course, you've been doing this since last semester. How was last semester alone? Of course, I've only spent a very little amount of time with you this semester, but how was it last semester just as a team was officially created?
At first it was kind of rocky, just not knowing everyone, like where they were coming in from, like if they actually wanted to play, but they stuck through, showing up to practice early, working hard, lifts, 8 a.m. lifts, working hard, those bikes on Tuesday. Everyone just showing up. That was really the biggest thing for me, is just seeing how everyone showed up and showed out. Everyone comes and works hard, and we do good.
All right. Well, it's good luck to see that hard work. So
yeah, definitely.
All right. We'll be right back here on Flag Football Update.
Hi, I'm Gene Sterator, CBS Rules Analyst and longtime sports official. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule. And the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media. And there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support.
Welcome back to Flag Football Update. We just got done talking with Alana about her experience within flag football here at Cal and before college in general. But now it's game week. We're back with Noah Mitchell, and first couple of games this weekend. Are you ready?
Yeah.
First question I got for
Yeah,
you.
I'm certainly excited. We've been busting our tails since last fall, and so far this semester, it feels like we've been grinding at it so long. It's going to be fun to actually go out and see a different colored jersey and just be able to put on display what these girls have been working so hard for, like I said, since they've got here in August or September.
Yeah, I know that even the girls, I was talking to them yesterday, they're excited for this weekend. They've been tired of going against each other. Yeah. They're ready for some competition that they don't know.
Right.
They're ready to work for something rather than just repeating something.
Right.
But leading up to the schedule, of course, like you told me yesterday, there was a third game added for this weekend that's not on the website.
Yeah.
So scheduling has been crazy for you, as you said. So how was coming up with schedules knowing that not every college has a flag football team, some are club teams? How was it just building the schedule?
Yeah, and then that has been, I think, the biggest challenge, right? The first challenge was getting girls that were wanting to be committed. I know Alana mentioned it in hers, right? Just getting girls to show up consistently. That was kind of the first challenge. But then the second one was, who the heck are we playing, right? Not many schools around here, especially on the varsity level, right? The Division II, the Division I, Division III level that are competing at this thing, just because of how new it is, right? A lot of it's club level. And the scheduling part on the club level, I don't even blame students. I couldn't imagine myself as a student in charge of a club that serious and having to produce a schedule.
Right.
Okay, like I'm worried about what test I'm taking, what I got to study for, that sort of thing. But we've been lucky that there has been a decent amount of schools within a close radius. The Pitt. Chatham plays. I know we don't have them on the schedule, but Bethany, who's this upcoming weekend, and they're bringing in a couple teams like Allegheny, Franciscan. And then we got approached by the Mercyhurst coach, actually. Me and him played against each other, funny enough, so it'll be funny to coach against him now.
Little reunion.
Yeah, right. But he reached out to me about a conference that they joined, the NCFFL, which hosts a couple tournaments, a couple weekends. So we're excited for those ones, like I said, too, to get the girls the actual overnight experience of what it's like to travel as a collegiate athlete and stay in a hotel and team bonding, all that stuff that goes into a part of that. So the scheduling stuff has been a hurdle, but I think that's just part of the business.
Right. And then a lot of our games we have away. We start out the season just away for a handful of weeks.
Yeah.
But looking towards April 11th, that's the first home game for us.
Yep.
What's the most exciting part about being able to host a home game?
Yeah, I think it goes into what makes this season so exciting in the first place. Is we're going to get to leave our impact on the university that'll never be able to be repeated, right? We get to go out and say that we were the first girls to go out and put this thing on the big stage and compete and lay the foundation for what is to come in women's flag football at Penn West, California. So, and then to come home and do it at the university. I know there's been tons of support from Coach Dunn himself. Like I said, obviously me and him have a great relationship where I feel pretty confident, there's going to be a good bit of the football team there. Just being from walking around campus, people recognize, hey, you're the women's flag football coach. We're so excited for the season. I can't tell you how many stories I've heard about, I wish this was a sport when I was in school, or, my daughter would have been great at flag football. So I think there's a lot of hype, a lot of attention towards it that I think our girls are going to feel the love come these home games, and even some of these away games. I know we're expecting a decent crowd to travel out to some of those and support our athletes as well too. So,
yeah, that's just crazy how fast the sport expanded just within the past couple of years. Because even back home in Colorado, the first season for like regulated sports was this past year, which my sister was a part of, and she was very excited because she was part of a club team. I know a whole bunch of these girls were part of club teams in areas where it just wasn't a full, I guess some people would say real sport, but just recognized more by the state.
Right.
So being able to go out there and finally see something at the college level, like I even know Nebraska announced that they had a team coming this year as well.
Yep.
So just seeing the growth of the sport, what do you see just out of flag football in the next couple of years as a growth sport?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the projections about, and I've talked to people about flag football becoming, up there with volleyball and with softball. And I think it's because of what you heard Alana say, right? Alana said that, she grew up wanting to play tackle football. I can't tell you how many other, recruits that I've talked to, why did you get into flag football? Well, I always wanted to play tackle football, but, mom and dad weren't with the contact going against guys, or a coach wouldn't let me join, like Alana said. So football is a sport where it creates a lot of camaraderie. And I'm not talking men's or women's, right? I'm just talking the game in general. And it is an exciting sport, especially flag football. I think that's the one thing you're going to look and see is some of these scores, and you're going to be like, wow, this is an up-tempo, fast-paced, exciting game, right? When talk about basketball, right? Some of the most exciting games to watch, not back in Gary's era when he was watching the Lakers and the Celtics scoring 80 points a game.
Right.
The 120-point games, right? Just take a shot at Gary because I know something's coming on his end. But just the excitement that we're going to see, I think, is going to create an atmosphere where it's going to keep growing, right? We're at 15 girls this year. We have 10 signed for next year. The roster sizes are going to keep growing. The universities are going to keep growing. With it becoming an Olympic sport, right? It's taken off on the national level, across the nation, internationally. I'll tell you, like I said, getting hired in late and really wanting to get out and promote the brand in the university, and then myself, I got a chance to go to the NFL Flag Football Championships that was hosted in Canton, and there's teams from Israel, there's teams from there are all sorts of different continents and countries that were in Canton, Ohio, right? It seems crazy to think about that, playing women's flag football.
That just being there with all those different teams just must have really put it into perspective for you how big of a sport it can be.
Correct, because like I said, I've been men's football my whole life, and you hear about what women's flag football is emerging, and then you go to that event there, and it's like I don't know if it's emerging. I think it has emerged. Like it is, you're seeing it more now, but it has blossomed into what it is, and it's just getting put on display more now for everyone else to see.
That's incredible, just the stuff you've done since day one to get to this point where you're ready to play your first game in just coach your first game in just a couple of days. Must be a little bit of a relief to say that you've gotten to this point in general.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long journey, and like I said, grateful for the girls. It's all about them. Right? Grateful that they're getting the opportunity now to play the sport that they've fallen in love with.
Right, and then before we get out of here, I was told to mention something about a 7-interception Tecmo Bowl game.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl wasn't my finest moment. I will say, I think I went into it with a little bit of a Madden mindset.
Okay.
But like I said, going back to the Magic and Larry Bird era, Gary's used to playing the football that you put on a board and it vibrates and people just kind of do whatever gravity tells them to do. And that was a little bit of Tecmo Bowl. It was just, it wasn't a skill level.
Okay.
It wasn't a skill level. It was an experience issue.
Then I need to see you play Madden against each other. Absolutely. I need to see a Madden game and see how that goes because it doesn't go good for you either. I don't know what to tell you, but I believe in you with Madden.
Appreciate it.
He might got Tecmo on that one.
He can have Tecmo Bowl.
But that's all I really got. If you guys are interested in keeping up with the season, stats, games, all of that, go to calvulcans.com. Go to the flag football page. All our information will be there. But that's all I really got for you guys today. See you next time on CTV Sports 1, and have a good night.